Should have said we can have like an alpha down there, or
Camden.
oh, sure.
Short chases the other end.
Yeah.
Oh, something I'd do. Well, I'm not going to stay with you, that's the only way.
Hello there, and welcome to the British Open 2019. These two have played each other before. I'm joined by Chris Chapman, who's going to be also the hazard line marker whilst commentating this evening. Just,
Man of many talents.
Yep. Setting a microphone check. It's going to be testing. That's good. Okay. We're going to try that again. Welcome to the 2019 British Open between Camden, Riviere and world champion Rob Fahey. There's a lot of history coming into this match. So this is Ben Ronaldson speaking here. I was joined by Chris Chapman, but one of the mics seems to be down. Chris is meant to be marking the hazard line, so maybe you shouldn't be doing too much of this anyway. Both pretty comprehensive coming into this final. Poor old Chris had a bit of trouble with Camden a couple of days ago and has been sleeping ever since.
Cheers, thanks. All right, well, welcome this evening to the singles final of the British Open 2019. I'm Freddie. It's been a wonderful 9 days so far, and I have Rob Fahey here with me. Rob, congratulations on getting to the singles final again. And how are you feeling, and do you want to say something to all your fans online?
Feeling good. We've got a good turnout, so that's going to make it a bit of fun. Get some noise. Good luck, Cam. Play well, man. And go easy on me. And big hello to Soph and Fred, who are at home watching on the stream, and of course Claire.
Wonderful. Thanks, Rob. Good luck, Cam. Good luck, Rob. And we're going to do the coin toss now with the marker this evening, Andrew Lyons. Who's got the coin? Who's calling? Cam's calling? Cam's calling heads. And it is? Right. Cam's won the toss, is elected to serve. enjoy this, what should be a fantastic final. And we look forward to seeing you afterwards. Thanks.
Yeah, not far, but too far. Wait for a pointer.
I think we're going to wait with the commentating for Drew to start the match.
Andrew. All this new technology, it's not as big as yours. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Queen's Club 2019 British Open Singles Final. Introducing the players, but before I do so, please can I remind you to switch off your mobile phones and no flash photography, thank you. At the service end, please welcome from America, South Carolina, he's the #1 seed, his name is Camden Riviere. At the receiving end, the #2 seed professional from Preston Hall. He's current singles reigning world champion. His name is Rob Fahey. Thank you. This final is the best of 5 6-game sets. Players are ready. First game, level. Fault. $15 love.
Hazard, half a yard.
Hazard a yard, 15 love.
Half.
Hazard half a yard. Speak up. $15 all.
So we see Camden starting off with 3 high serves, none of which he served against Rob in the World Championships, any kind of regularity.
Fault.
It's nice to see Camden graduating to the big boy serves after 20 years.
Hazard half a yard, second gallery, 15 all.
Yeah, so Chris Chapman here with me, Ben Ronaldson here. Camden's decided to completely change his service plan against Rob for this Open. He's been thinking about it for long and hard for the last 18 months since he lost the World Championships. And did you find that he changed the way he served against you?
Yeah, he served a lot of the kind of serves he started this match with so far, a few demi PKs.
15 all.
Went to the odd rail.
Hazard chase, half a yard.
But otherwise, it was predominantly kind of squarer serves to stop the force.
$30-15. Second gallery.
Fierce flat backhand return there.
$40-15.
There's not many people who can cover the galleries and go back and get that.
Oh.
No, you often see Steve trying to do the same thing, impose that kind of bigger body. Cam's just so much kind of lighter and that quick feet.
It's one of Neil's balls there.
Chase better than 6. $40-15.
Yeah, just like Steve, when Cam turns on that forehand, it's pretty tricky to tell whether he's going to do a fat boast or a main wall.
Yeah, absolutely. He's also got the kind of the backswing that looks like he might boast or drive it, and fades it into this forehand corner for the right-handers, which can be quite awkward as well to be covering all three of those shots.
Serve lead 40-15. Chase better than 6. Game server. First game. Love.
Yeah, Camden looking pretty calm to start off with, not rushing his shots like he might have done.
Fault. Love.
Yeah, Cam was having trouble with that big force from Rob during the World Championships, but he got the first one back today.
Oh. Second gallery, 30
yeah,
love.
no doubt the defence of that drive, particularly on day 2 of the championship, will give Cam a few nightmares, but I'm sure he's a good confidence builder off that first one.
Love, second gallery.
Yeah, that serve looked like it was going to be really tight, but actually came out, and unusual mistake from Rob there actually, along with his first backhand volley in front of the grill.
Yeah, well, with that much space from the back wall that Rob ended up having on that return, you would most people would have been anticipating a big drive from Rob, so I think he was a bit surprised that it got so far out.
40 love, Chase the second gallery. $15.40. Stroke. Game receiver. 2 games to love. Whoa.
Worse than the door.
Worse than the door. No strokes, hazard worse than the door. Oh. Love. 15 all.
It's a great railroad from Rob. Cam managed to win the point regardless.
Yeah, well, as soon as you hit that loose ball into the grill corner. Unlike that. Yeah, those top lefties of the world make you pay when you hit a loose ball around the grill.
40-15.
Yes, it's interesting. Rob electing to serve the railroad that was so damaging in the second day of the World Championships when the ball started to move a little bit more. Weren't quite so new. It's obviously a great serve against the lefty in general. Cam kind of slightly better at receiving it than Steve, for sure. But back in the World Championships, Rob was serving it, I thought, from nearer like 4 and 5 further up the court.
He was definitely up at about 5 yards, and it was kind of a one bounce over about has the door, and really basically aiming for the nick. That one he actually served a bit faster, 2 bounces, and actually ripped back to the side wall, which most players struggle with here at Queen's, to be able to spin the ball enough to get it back to the side wall, which is obviously the objective of the railway.
Receiver leads 40-15, hazard chase, worse than the door. Game receiver. 1 game to 2.
And Rob, the first player to get rid of the sleeves in these cold conditions.
Love.
Yeah, it was a great volley return to serve. Cam did well to get it back. And
Love. $15-30.
well, the first 2 gets there were pretty impressive anyway.
Second gallery, 15-30.
It's interesting. Cam actually does a high serve that puts Rob under pressure with his return.
30 all. Second gallery, 3 and 4, 30 all.
A lot of really interesting things to mention in that rally. Firstly, Cam serving, tying Rob down. He's not having an immediate destructive response.
No, he's only really hitting a cut volley cross court, or that one was more down the middle of the court because it was obviously tight against the back wall. I was just thinking ahead of that rally that there hadn't been that intensity of a big match, but that was the first real exchange from the players. I saw a number of different shots.
Second gallery. $40-30, 3 and 4. Wants the chase, pedal to 4. Juice. Service advantage.
Whilst Camden's changing his racket here, one of the other things I wanted to point out about that long rally we had back when Cam was serving is that it was great, a lot of good defence, good serving, good return from Rob, but Cam got a sitter on the back penthouse. And one of the reasons Cam's slightly struggling in World Championships is Rob was hammering the dead on an unbelievable pace, and Cam was spraying a lot back, but when he got one that missed, he wasn't putting the ball away.
Yeah, you just wouldn't see Camden miss that shot at the winning gallery against a slightly lesser line.
And the game. 2 games all, first set.
There's definitely an extra pressure he feels under when he's playing Rob, I believe.
Love. Come on.
Does Rob get paid to be a ball boy?
Yep.
Yeah, first set. No fault.
Love.
Those first 2 returns from Rob were unbelievable. The miss-hit volley followed by that one.
Oh, amazing court coverage from Rob.
Last gallery, 30 love.
Camden definitely moving as freely as you'd expect him to in a normal match.
Love, last gallery.
So you do get, I mean, Rob doesn't make mistakes many places on the court, but occasionally you can get one out of his backhand volley. We saw it in the doubles yesterday. Don't get me wrong, 95% of them are going over pretty well, but at this level, if you can just eke a couple of victories there.
Yeah, well, Cam's, when he gets that loose ball that he had on that drive, he's slightly deceptive. I don't think he means to be necessarily, or it's not a deliberate thing, but it's very difficult to read. It can be difficult to read him, so maybe Rob just looking at the forehand volley and was surprised by a backhand.
Oh. $15.40. $15.40.
Again, amazing court coverage from Camden, not quite finishing it, and it sounds harsh.
Yeah, well, an amazing read off the bando and ran it down, and then hit a loose ball. But even though he didn't get that one back at the back of the court, you could see he was, even from where we're stationed, he was frustrated that he didn't run back and get that ball from worse than 2.
Also, his railroad's actually causing Rob more trouble.
Receiver. Chase 2 and 3.
than it did in the World Championships.
Yeah, well, I think he's kind of sliding it down with kind of undercut as opposed to a genuine kind of railroad.
Lost the chase, 30-40. One and two, 30-40.
So it's worth reiterating that Camden has never beaten Rob here at Queen's. Now, you could say day one of the World Championships where he won 3-1 was an effective form of victory, but the match was a best of 13, and he's not beaten him here in the British Open.
Yeah, it's interesting. I wasn't aware of that, I have to admit. I'm normally pretty good with my stats.
30-40. Serve up, chase 1 and 2. Lost the chase and the game. Server leads 3 games to 2.
It might start to frustrate Camden that someone's shrunk the winning gallery here. Yeah, just give up on the winning gallery.
Yeah, he's not been just missing it, but actually missing it by a mile so far.
Again, another serve that actually stopped Rob just crushing him from the outset. Yeah, great return. And another good example where you can't underhit a high serve against Rob. He's just going to murder you.
Fairfield. (40-30). Worse than second gallery, 40-30.
In case you missed it before, we're all very appreciative of Camden stepping out from season 9 of Modern Family to come and do this. I think we're going to see Rob stepping up
Receiver leads 40-30
with the railroad
second gallery.
to chase 5 like he did for the World Championships at some point.
Yeah, I think if this one stops tying Camden up, then he may look at it. I'm surprised he didn't go to what did work at the World Championships.
Love. Love.
Railroad seems to be working now. just asking everyone to remove their badges in the front row there. You might be in trouble with the police or something.
Double fault. 15-40. Oh.
Shot.
30-40. Game server, 3 games 4. Up.
Yeah. Rob doing an impressive job of reading Camden's shot choices there.
Fahey.
You know, not a bad serve, really.
Yeah, well, you even heard
Fahey.
Rob say that's an awesome shot for a left-hander to hit a backhand angle dead on from kind of behind him is quite impressive.
(40-30). Well. Chase half a yard, 40-30.
Yeah, I mean, Rob has been reading a lot of those boasts into that corner, but you know, occasionally you're just going to catch him flat-footed.
Yeah, well, the way Camden shapes up with that double hand and kind of releases it almost like a baseball batter, it still is very difficult to read. So if for one split second you think he's going to cut it into your forehand corner and you take that step, then getting back to that left, to your left to get the backhand back is just near on impossible, probably unless you're as quick as Camden is.
Half a yard. Okay. Game, simply 5 feet. First set.
Great serve for Cam there. Bit unusual, didn't reach that, but again the serve was a bit too low, gave Rob options. Again, another low serve compared to what he's been doing to date. So.
Yeah, it just looks like Camden would rather see that cut volley than the force. So potentially he's erring on the side of being a bit shorter, but I still think he just needs to get that length right.
40 love. West.
Yeah, I mean, I hear what you're saying. You'd rather he'd volley, but I think Cam's not meaning to hit them as low as he was for the majority of those. And I think the stats so far this set have shown that if he gets them vaguely near the lights, he's kind of up, and if they're a bit too low, he's down. That bubble was a bit short.
It was definitely a little bit short, almost hit the sidewall and came off short of the stroke line.
Server leads 15-40. Chase a yard worse than second gallery.
Interesting choice of serve here for a yard worse than the second from Rob.
$30-40.
Well, I think he got the ball he wanted over in this forehand corner tee to hazard to defend his chase, but just hit it high over the fence post.
Juice. Advantage. Juice.
Almost ran up Rob's arm, I think.
Yeah, Rob's been quoted to say if he could hit the wood every time he would. It's much, much harder to read.
Oh. Juice.
It's definitely an area that Camden wants to aim for.
Advantage receiver.
Brings up his first set point.
Juice.
That was immensely strong.
Advantage receiver. Oh. Game in the first set. First set receiver, 6-3.
It's
Time,
an
please.
awesome way to finish a set.
Yeah, I got the feeling.
Second set level.
Camden was trying to win the set with a winning shot. He wasn't happy just kind of winning it with a constructive point to make Rob make an error as well. So it's quite interesting.
15 love. $30 love. Chase 1 and 2, 30 love. One and two, last gallery.
Yeah. Some good receiving from Camden. He's choosing which railroads to attack and which ones not. A couple of his railroads getting a second bounce incredibly close. He's just, defensively kind of getting them into the corner at reasonable pace. One of them getting a chase, which is it's good shot selection, really.
Yeah, he's for a left-hander, he hits that ball
Outside.
well, whether he's being aggressive on it or just is kind of effectively
Outside.
hitting a defensive cut volley across here. He does with that two-hand. He's obviously so strong in the core that he kind of just punches that ball down here, and it's quick enough to get a better than 2 or 1 and 2 chase on that kind of defensive cut volley, which is it's still very
30
impressive.
love, server leads, chase 1 and 2. Have a court.
Would you have hit
40
that
love, last gallery.
I wouldn't have. It would look like it was about 2 and 3 from where we are.
Game server, first game, second set. Chase the line.
He had no space there. That was impressive.
Oh. The line and only up worse than last gallery. No stroke.
So I normally do a shout out at some point during these matches for Camden to try and get him a girlfriend, but apparently he's he is not single, whatever that means. I know he's very fond of his dog.
Do what they change. No strokes. Chase the line. Oh. Won the chase. 15 love, more than a yard worse than last gallery. Oh. $30 love.
It's unfortunate for Rob there. He picked it out, but it just bounced badly there.
$40 love.
That that volley that Camden hits from there is really, really tough to defend on the low backhand volley, because if you leave it, it's in the nick. Oh, behind the back action.
Game receiver, 2-love. More than a yard worse than last gallery.
Yeah, I think Rob would normally make that second winning gallery attempt there.
Yeah, definitely. He's done a little running the last few games.
Chase, 5 and 6.
There's a shot in that game where Rob took a ball off the penthouse, and he'd normally turn inside that and hit a forehand, and maybe felt like he didn't have the space to guarantee he could get around the side of it. But normally when he's bouncy, he just skips around inside that and absolutely hammers a forehand for the right edge of the grill. Maybe not quite being as bouncy as usual.
Yeah, possibly. He also maybe just took on the backhand to try and kind of change the pace on Camden rather than just blasting it all the time. Camden is pretty good at defending that hard ball to the grill.
No strokes. Chase, more than a yard worse than last gallery. Love server. Chase, 5 and 6. Fault. Won the chase. 15 all.
It's interesting, Camden got very nervous when he was about to hit that second serve. The ball came out of his hand in a funny way and he went to hit it anyway.
$30-15.
Yeah, we've talked about Camden's first serve a bit, but he's hit a number of loose second serves, and again that attempted bobble hit the sidewall first, which at this level is poor, very poor serve.
$40-15. Fault.
I feel like Rob's taking slightly larger steps than we're used to him seeing on a regular basis.
Game server, 3 games to love.
There's another loose second serve by Camden there. He actually got lucky, and it kind of was a miss-hit drag in the end.
Fault.
Let's have a look at this second serve. Slightly changed his position as well to serve that.
Chase the line.
I think he's just definitely nervous about serving a second serve to Rob. He knows that he can tie Rob's options down a little bit with this first one, but the second serve, Rob's just going to tank it.
Love.
So was Camden going for the winning gallery or the corner with
Takes
that?
the line.
I have a feeling he was trying to slide it into the winning gallery and just again undercooked it. I don't think he's hit a winning gallery yet from about a dozen attempts.
30 love. 40 love, chase the line. Can I have some balls, please?
Fantastic force from Rob there, and interesting first serve. Cam's been mainly serving the other way with a high serve, and he came inside and did more of a high drop on that one, which
Warm in here, isn't it?
proved to be pretty effective.
It's warm in here.
Yeah, I've seen him serve many of those tonight, but he served quite a few of those to me the other night.
Yeah, no, it's one or the other, isn't it?
It's just so weird after having been world champion, still world number one. Turns around, goes, maybe I need to learn to serve. There might be something in that.
Yeah, and going back to Camden's kind of second serves and that there's that perceived pressure that you often hear about in various sports, but it's even at this level, two players that are the best current players in the game serving to each other, and still has that element of pressure. If you don't serve it on the money, then you could wear it between your teeth, particularly when Rob's hitting.
You want to play Angry Birds as well.
Well, of course, we're being unfair to Cam because he has tailored a railroad that kind of suits his game.
Serve leads, 40 love, chase the line.
That tried to encourage floor play, but he kind of stuck with it for a bit too long, perhaps.
Oh, chase off. That was a difficult one. 40 love, server.
Interesting call there, because I think Drew doesn't believe any yard worse than the first. But it is a line here.
$15.40.
That is just an outrageous shot from Camden off the timbre.
Game server. One game to 3, second set.
Camden trying to do a Chapman there.
Fault.
Chris, I saw you hit a backhand boast there yesterday, which was ridiculous.
Well, there was actually one against Camden. We were playing a worse than 2 chase. And Camden hit the same thing, that kind of timbre. I hit a backhand backwall boast.
15
and
love.
Camden had to defend worse than 2.
$15 all. Oh.
Should be Camden's epitaph, really. Fast enough to be wrong.
$30.15. Fault. No chases. $30 all.
It's slightly unusual that Rob will go for the slow one there.
Yeah, after turning it on the forehand, very, very odd choice in the end.
$40.30. More than a yard worse than last gallery, 40-30.
You've got to be quite fast to take that on the volley.
Yeah, he just sees the game almost at a different speed sometimes. To see that ball was going to be going over, and to come from the stroke area up to about a hazard worse than first to try and attempt the volley Manuel dead on. It's super impressive.
Again, the players respecting each other by not forcing at each other's faces. Always nice to see.
Receiver leads 40-30. Chase more than a yard worse than last gallery. Won the chase. And game. 2 games to 3.
I thought you said Camden read the game.
Hazard second gallery.
That's going to start getting on his nerves soon. Rob quite likes to hit that one straight if he gets enough room to do so.
Love.
Again, that high serve way too low from Camden. Great volley return from Rob. Lucky to get back in the point, really.
Stroke. 15 all. It's
a great ball, but
Hazard second.
First ball that I've seen Camden rush, actually.
40-15. Hazard second gallery.
Rob's done really well. He was 3-love down in this set, and he's just brought up a game point to level back at 3-all. Camden was kind of up and running and dictating points, and all of a sudden a few loose serves, and Rob's able to put that pressure on, and then forced a very, very loose serve, even off first serve, that Rob was able to kind of belt towards the dead on.
How much is one? Oh, I love it down there. All the time, yeah. Love it down there. Beautiful club. Yeah.
Certainly not being predictable with this
Server
play.
leads 40-15. Hazard second gallery. Oh. $30-40.
Yeah, sometimes that ball that goes straight for the corner is really hard to deal with.
An amazing exchange there from both players.
Chase better than 2. Juice.
Chris, you smell really nice. What are you wearing?
It was actually the fragrance we were given as our present for the French Open.
Advantage, Chase better than 2.
You think Rob's saying, hey, that's where it is?
Yeah, Rob's hit a number of winning galleries, and that one was quite tight. He was effectively on the backhand side of centre of court and tucked it in.
Rob drawing attention to his legs there.
Advantage receiver. Chase better than 2.
That's some beautiful legs.
Game receiver, 3 games all.
Ooh.
15 love.
Cam was annoyed with himself for leaving the last dead on.
Love.
Camden obviously won that point, but probably defying the age of 51 to get around the court like
40
he does.
love.
Yeah, made a curious choice to cut force for Cam's forehand during that rally, actually.
Better than half a yard, 40 love.
Yeah, I mean, Cam made an interesting choice to go for the big both there. It wasn't hard or good enough, but interesting thing, I mean, Rob was moving for it already. You know, he saw it earlier.
Yeah, he does. I think, again, at what showed at the last World Championship is Rob does read Camden very, very well. Camden had done really well to respond from losing the last game and levelling at and Rob levelling at 3-all to go 40 love up. But Rob able to sneak a short chase off that forehand volley.
40 love receiver. Chase better than half a yard. Oh. Lost the chase. 15-40. $30-40. Time, please.
Yeah. Unusual mistake for Cam on the forehand volley. Not as pressed as he looked.
No, he normally goes a bit fatter with that. I think he was wanting to keep it down this forehand side or even forehand side of the dead on. That is unbelievable.
Game receiver, 4 games to 3.
It's what makes playing the top left-handers in the world so tough, because when under pressure,
Chase 6.
you hit a good solid ball to the timbre and you end up losing the point from it. It's a real tough thing that makes playing the left-handers very, very tough.
Oh. Six and more than a yard worse than last gallery. No stroke.
I wouldn't say Rob's hit particularly good second serves either this evening. Camden's been able to. He started with the bobble, which is generally speaking, a strange choice for serving to a left-hander. They'll turn on a bobble just about every time. And when he has gone demi-piqué, he's undercooked to hit that penthouse again. It goes floor back wall, and Camden can turn on it, and he's got.
No strokes. Chase 6.
Generally speaking, he's got 4 or 5 good options off that ball, which makes life difficult for you.
Yeah, and the double fault wasn't brilliant.
Yeah, that came on a railroad. That was, from memory, Rob was 40 love.
15 love.
Or
More than a yard
40, 15
worse
up at
than
that
last
stage
gallery.
anyway. So sometimes you'll see a top player in the world do a double fault, maybe a second serve railroad or a low percentage second serve. They're either leading or defending a chase. They feel like they're probably going to lose anyway.
30 love. 15-30.
Yeah, in trouble again after a woefully underhit high serve there.
Yeah, and you just can't let that cut volley from Rob get to the back wall. It just cuts down so severely. Camden made a good fist of trying to get it over, to be honest.
Chase the line, 15-30. The line and better than 4, 15-30.
Cam's doing more than just 2 high serves here, by the way. It's quite hard to see. He does one where he drops his racket and comes upside in and then round the outside, but he's actually putting different degrees of spin purposefully on some of those serves.
Yeah, and even as he does that, Rob will know the differences. But when you've not seen one for a while, you might misread it by, Camden's looking for Rob to misread it by as little as an inch, and then he can't quite be as effective.
15-30, receiver leads, chase the line. (40-15), chase better than 4. Nope, won the chase and the game. 5 games to 3. Love. Chase a yard, 15 love. Fine, thank you. Stroke, 30 love. Worse than the door, 30 love. (15-30).
That's it.
Rob playing a bit of doubles there, ball down the middle. Obviously he was 99 times out of 100 he's going winning gallery from there, and maybe thought Camden was covering it and thought that down the line was the option. As it turned out, it worked.
(30 all). Oh.
People wonder why we don't mark from the net anymore. As Rob fires that miss hit railroad in there into the marker's box.
Camera. 40-30, worse than the door. Chase the camera.
Yeah.
It's the first time I've seen the camera get hit.
Yeah, I got
Server leads 40-30. Chase worse than the door. Won the chase. Juice.
Not a great railroad against Rob to defend that chase.
No, and that looked like the World Championship from last year, and Rob was able to
Fault.
dispatch a ball towards the main wall dead on it. Cam got back, but you're just putting yourself under so much pressure.
Chris, I think you just talked over Cam hitting the winning gallery for the first time there.
Unfortunately, it was a serve, so it was a fault.
Half a yard worse than 6. Juice.
Again, Rob going with the cut force, not.
Martin.
You don't see it all that often.
I'm not sure that was cut force. I think he was going for the corner in that one and just overhit it. Right? Like that was really low on the back wall. I think he's not going to miss by that much, is he? Do you think he was going real bottom right?
With the way he's set up, obviously I've practiced with Rob a lot. I thought he was going for a cut force with the dead on and just got it a bit wrong, to be honest.
Vantage receiver, chase, half a yard west and 6.
It went a long way to him losing the point.
Juice.
A bit of a nervy return from Cam on and serve on 2 set points.
Nearly a yard worse than last gallery. Juice. And worse than second gallery.
Rob just suggesting with his kind of ghosted practice swing on that backhand volley that he was kind of wanting it in the grilled corner, but it's the thing with that boast that Camden hits with that double-handed backhand is that it gets onto you really quickly, and often is either causes you to miss-hit it or hit it where you weren't really wanting it to put it. And Rob put it down the middle of the court.
Juice. Chase nearly a yard worse than last gallery. Serves advantage worse than second gallery.
Yeah, it was a good serve, but it's unusual that Rob might make that error.
Pull. Juice.
Yeah, again, the 3 match points, set points that Camden's played, he hasn't made brilliant serves or returns out of it.
Definitely that second serve kind of sidewall, little kind of push was...
Serve advantage.
Particularly as he just served his best bobble of the match, which caused Rob to kind of try and boast to try and win the chase and hit the net.
Yeah, don't want to do that again.
Game in the second set, 6 games to 3. Server leads by 2 sets to love. Level.
Yeah, Rob's going to be annoyed to have lost momentum after getting himself back into that set.
Yes. Obviously both players are great champions. Camden does so well after losing a game or two. He responds all the time. And I, from memory, when Rob levelled at 3-all...
15 love.
When he levelled at 3-all from 3-love, I'm pretty sure Camden won a game to love. He responds strongly throughout a match.
Love.
Yeah, the problem is if you do that boast and Cam sees it early enough, God.
Oh, yeah, onto the forehand, you're in trouble.
Pull.
The interesting thing with Camden as well is he very rarely deliberately cuts the ball. He's quite happily hitting a roll. So even if you hit it to his low backhand, low forehand volley,
15-30.
or even half volley, he's quite happily kind of rolling that ball towards the grill, or towards the neck.
Just sounds so heavy.
30-all. How do you put out? Go. 40-30.
Yeah, it looks like Rob's given up. He's throwing the towel in.
Juice. Advantage receiver.
Yeah, Rob's so incredibly strong on that roll force. He kind of corkscrews himself off the floor, and it's. I remember when I was coming up through the rankings.
Game. First game, third set.
Yeah, kind of different pace from different guys. So when Rob hits the ball, it felt like a cannonball being hit at you. But when Tim or Steve hit the ball, it was kind of like a laser.
Cool.
So Cam tried out a few different serves in that last game. Seems to be going back to plan A.
Yeah, it's amazing. Generally speaking, plan A is the right one. Particularly if he's just going to push those kind of railroads down. We saw in the World Championship, Rob's just going to dry. He's
15 love.
Yeah, Rob's got an incredibly good cut volley return to serve, but against that serve, particularly of Camden's here at Queen's, that doesn't really kick back, or he's not even really entertaining the volley on that kind of railroad and just happily let it go to the back wall and drive it. Again, there's a short bobble. I'd have a feeling against myself he'd probably cut volley that, but he's just happily
30 love.
Let that go back wall and swing for the dead on.
$15-30.
Camden just went to serve a sidewall railroad and hit a straight soft railroad, and that's actually what he needs to be varying. Definitely not the long one like that.
No, it's interesting.
40-15.
He's gone 2 sets to love up and barely served a high serve to start this second set. And even though there's a serve, that was an attempt at a sidewall first, kind of run it down the penthouse.
Oh, that's an incredible shot.
Game receiver. 2 games to love.
As Rob races to a 2-love lead, Camden goes back to the serves that got him a 2 sets to love lead.
Chase better than the door. $15 love.
Again, Camden continuing with the changes of serves.
Better than the door, first gallery.
I mean, not only do we see a lot of changed different serves that
15
weren't really
love.
working, we also saw him basically serving his high serves on the fat back penthouse, giving Rob something to hit. I mean, he got away with it a
Rob, can we
couple
get
of
the
times.
balls, please?
So what I was saying about Camden's sideball railroad, he had a lot of purchase against Rob on day 3, serving sideball railroad, and the ball coming at Rob's feet. Rob was being forced to half volley and kind of skip up the court, and unfortunately Cam just did it for like 4 sets running, and Rob kind of clocked it towards the end. But if you mix that with a straight one that's short, admittedly Rob's still running up for both of them, but like the chain angle's enough to kind of cause a bit of problem. Problem is, both the sidewall railroads that Camden's been serving today have actually kind of reached the back wall kind of pretty quick in near the service line there. They're kind of attacking the nick, and I don't think that's as effective against Rob. I think you need to get him charging up the court and kind of taking a risk with a half volley swipe and stuff.
Yeah, I think most stats would show that if you make your opponent hit from the back 2 yards of the court, they're probably going to be less accurate. I think that's almost... Rob probably proves that theory wrong.
15 love, receiver leads. Chase better than the door.
Sure, but if you're forcing, you know.
Oh. 30 love. Chase the first gallery. first gallery. Full. Won the chase, and 40 love.
Worse than the second.
Jeeps, I forgot you were
Worse
doing
than
that, Chris.
second, thank you.
Scared the crap out of me.
Yeah, don't tell my wife I can do 2 jobs at once, please. Although she's seen me stitch balls at work and mark, so that
Server
went
leads,
a long
40
time
love.
ago.
Hazard, worse than second gallery. Full. $15.40.
I don't think Camden will be too worried about Rob beating him with that force all day. That was actually a fast rower. Got back to the side wall and was beaten to his top forehand corner. It's a
That was a serve.
Game server, 1 game to 2.
you know, if your opponent's needing to beat you in that backhand corner off that long railroad, then, you know, the percentages would go in your favour over the course of the match.
15 love.
Doesn't matter how fit Rob's feeling, he won't want to get himself into too many of those kind of rallies where he's pushed from corner to corner. Good serve.
30 love.
And again, what we saw 2 rallies ago was Rob smashing the force at Camden's volley and Camden managing to get the ball back on the floor instead of overhitting those volleys back.
Full. Love.
There it is.
Camden's on the board in terms of the winning galleries, but he's not put a lot of balls away from up the court tonight. Even that winning gallery came from the back couple of yards of the court after missing a loose ball.
Chase better than 4, 40 love.
I mean, that's a great get from Cam, but a very clever shot from Rob to finish off there. It's very, very safe. It's like, I think he's kind of happy going the dead, but also you're going to get that ball behind Cam every time from that position.
I thought it was an interesting choice of Camden to run across and not kind of push back to try
40 love receiver leads. Chase better than 4.
What do you mean by interesting? You mean bad, don't you?
Game receiver, 2 games all.
Yeah, can't be too harsh on these guys. I do have to compete against them.
$15 love. Worse than last gallery, 15 love.
Do you know many other left-handers who've been as good as Cam on the backhand side?
Better than the second.
history doesn't go
Camden
far
will tell
back
me.
enough. But do you remember what Howard Angus's strengths were?
I've not
really?
never seen any footage and I'm too young to have seen him play.
Dom.
Stout's pretty good on the backhand from his squash days.
Yeah, but squash players can't really
Was
play
that
real
Cam?
tennis properly, can they, Chris? It's just,
Hazard.
No, obviously not.
Wayne Davis
Server
was
leads
pretty good.
15 love, worse than last gallery. Fault. All. Hazard better than second gallery.
Just the subtleties. That's such a good angle from Rob from that position.
It was a worse than last chase. I have a feeling he was going for last gallery.
30-15.
I think if it had been going in, Camden would have actually volleyed it over.
Out of court. 40-15.
Kind of unlucky. That shot was so good for Rob during the World Championships last year.
Game server. Server leads 3-2.
Again, Camden responded really well. Rob got out to a 2-love lead in this set, and that Camden goes 3-2 up.
Love.
That's a great force from Rob from that position, actually.
Fault. Love. Time count.
I think one of the differences between these two guys today is that Cam did a full body wax this morning.
Second gallery, 30 love.
Have you come across the name that Camden and John have dubbed their doubles partnership?
Nope.
No, you probably don't want to, Ben, but it's headbands and six-packs, which is a little sickly.
Stroke. Love, second gallery.
Does Cam wear a headband?
No, so he must have the six-pack.
Oh, good. It's just a tattoo.
Server leads 40 love. Chase the second gallery. Oh. 15-40.
Yeah, Rob's going to be frustrated not to make one of those two shots.
Oh.
The grill and the hazard gallery.
Yeah, the grill was he got the volley he wanted, the kind of cross-court return from Camden, and
Better than a yard, 15-40.
Kind of glad Rob didn't connect with that.
Yeah, that could have come up into the top gallery.
Yeah, there's about 30 people here might have lost some teeth.
$15.40 receiver leads, better than a yard. Lost the chase for 1 and 2. 30-40.
Blocking the marker's view there just in case.
Hazard second gallery, 30-40.
I think Camden read to the miss there, didn't he?
Yeah, but as you said before, that sidewall railroad getting easily to kind of half volleyed the back wall and just sat up and asked to be hit. And albeit he did read the bando by the looks of it, you don't want to give Rob too many of those because he isn't going to hit the bando that often.
Take that out now. Take this out, got 100%.
He's certainly not hitting it high all that often either.
I think Rob has hit the bando a bit recently.
Server leads 30-40. Hazard second gallery.
Grill a few games ago, I remember as well. That looked in.
Juice.
Rob has had 40 love in this game. This
Ball.
could be go by Camden. If he can pinch this to go 4-2 up.
Advantage receiver. Ball. Game receiver. 4 games to 2.
Yeah, a bit of an unlucky break there for Rob, the bad bounce on the serve.
Yeah, and even though he lost the game from 40 love up, I don't think he played a bad game. He got unlucky a couple of times, missing the drill just. Camden's now got 4-2 up. I think the crowd would have loved to have seen 3-all.
Nope. Chase better than 2. Better than 2, second gallery, no strokes.
Yeah, we haven't seen Rob doing that serve much today. It's
The snow sidewall.
Oh, I think Julian hit it a bit differently from that. It's kind of a cross between a sidewall and an underarm twist.
It was, you're right, a little bit further out than where most people would serve a genuine sidewall serve from as well.
No strokes, chase better than 2.
Of course, Snowy back in the country now.
I believe so. Shout out to Julian if he's watching. Probably unlikely.
Fault.
He might be trying to hide the fact he's in the country, though. I mean,
There are rumours afoot, don't you worry.
yeah.
15 love receiver, second gallery.
Yeah. 2 sets to love down, 4-2 down, going for the technical knockout is.
all. Fault.
Better than 2.
Hazard better than 2.
I think it's because you're dropping an octave that it scares me so much.
30-15. Whoa. All.
Yeah, Cam's seeing the volleys well today, isn't he? It's probably just the right amount of medication.
No, last gallery. Hazard better than 2, last gallery, 30 all.
It's wonderful to see Rob smiling about things in this. I mean, this is quite a severe situation. You know, Rob's got his World Championships coming up.
Hazard better than 2.
Where he's going to try and
30 all.
Preston.
Hazard better than 2.
To be honest.
Oh, there is you, isn't there?
And Ben and Nicky now.
Whoa.
That was an error, wasn't it? Sorry, Chris.
(40-30) receiver, last gallery. Whoa.
It's a great finish, but strangely casual
Eesh.
backhand volley from Rob.
He hits that
Advantage
shot
receiver.
better than any of the other left hands that I've seen. The kind of loose serve and hit a backhand main Modelo. That is a super backhand by Rob.
Deuce.
Wonderfully measured shot. It's kind of crazy. Cam almost got it as well. Just
An outrageous pickup by Camden. He had a sighter on the rest beforehand.
Chase better than 5. Deuce.
exactly the same shot from Rob. Deserved to win the point.
Advantage better than 5.
Seems to have been a lot of juice games in this set in particular, as well as the rest of the match.
Actually, Chris, can I take this opportunity to ask you who's playing who in the challenge process? Because that must be decided by now, right?
It is decided, so
Service advantage, Chase better than 5.
Camden's finished first in the race, and he's due to play Nicky Howe. I finished second in the race, due to play Ben Taylor Matthews. Both matches to take place between the 20th and 30th of January, with obviously then the two winners playing each other in the final eliminator for a crack at Mr. Fahey for the World Championship. You know, people often say that Camden's going to have to try and beat Rob down at Prested, but in terms of this world race, got the other three players outside of Camden.
Game server. Server leads 5-2.
Would all need their first career wins over Camden in order to progress to that match.
Love.
We find ourselves at 5-2 in this set, but as I said just before, there seem to be a lot of juice games that just keep going Camden's way.
30 love.
See your problem, Chris? You're not old enough. I've beaten Camden.
I often had RTC members tell me they'd beaten him when he was there as an 18-year-old as well, but...
Oh no, he was 12.
Well,
Yeah, well, before I even broke into the top 10 of the world, Camden was already, I think, world number 1 or at least world number 2. So I've been trying to chase him all my time.
chase 3.
That is a crazy return.
30 love.
That ball did not bounce, and he hit it with only wood.
I was almost waiting for the marker to call none up after that, but got about a worse than 3 chase.
15-30.
Good cut volley, but an unusual mistake from Cam.
Yeah, he looked early on that one.
40-15, chase 3.
That's the first match point for Camden.
Probably the first return to serve Rob's hit into the net as well. Yet he's 2 sets of love down at 5-2.
Receiver leads 40-15, chase 3. Game, set, and
That's it. Camden's going to be thinking.
Ladies and gentlemen, if you please like to make your way on court for the presentation. Thank you.
He's going to be thinking, finally. This is the big bugbear. We actually thought he might not come, genuinely, because he didn't come last year after the World Championships. I know he had his Slimes disease, but you know he's been. Oh, he'd like to let everyone know this is a Grand Slam. Be nice if he tucked away World Championships somewhere around the same time, I imagine. Okay, good night, everyone. I hope you enjoyed it.
Good night, everybody. Thanks for joining us.
Can you hear me in there? No? Okay, I'm just going to shout, much easier. And those that know me know I do it very well. Before we get to the presentation ceremony, and to allow the competitors, if not the audience, to get their breath back, a few very important thank yous. For those who've been here this week, we've had a huge amount of energy from the stewards and from Freddie, and a huge amount of support from a variety of sponsors. Mayfield Press, Derek, thank you ever so much. Riviere, Signal, we've had some great coffee from Carraro, Nixon Gin, Ascot Racing, James, thank you. The Hurlingham Club, and Grays, as always. I thank you ever so much for your support. The event this year and last, and hopefully next, has been financed by a very small group of generous patrons who love the game, 4 people who came together and agreed to underwrite this tournament, and we are extremely grateful to them. They know who they are, and thank you ever so much for their generosity. On the subject of money, there is an auction in the members bar, and if you haven't wandered around and seen all the wonderful things on offer, then please do go and put your name with exorbitant sums against the lovely stuff on offer. These events take a huge amount of organisation. I've already mentioned Freddie. I'm pleased to say looks slightly less frazzled than she did last year, and that's not because she's done any less, but she's been helped by a great team of volunteers and helpers, and I know Savannah's been here a lot, and the office particularly, I know Jess has been doing a huge amount of stuff that with technology that I don't understand, but is getting what we're doing here out to a younger audience, and so thank you, Jess, and thanks Andrina for all of your hard work in the office and Chris. I'm not quite sure where he's hiding, but there is a unique and very special gentleman hiding in that far right-hand corner, Ryan, who I know enjoys being put in black holes and playing wonders with technology. We've had a range of GoPros being seamlessly interplayed and enabling the streaming to operate. I don't know how many of you actually watched it on the streaming, but I think it's fantastic. It's wonderful to see such a big crowd here tonight, but I don't know how many people are watching it at home, but I hope you all enjoyed it. And our thanks, Ryan, to you. I should, of course, have started by thanking Andrew and Ross, our hosts here from Queen's Club. We are very privileged to be able to use the facilities here, and we're grateful to them and to their members for allowing us to completely take over the entirety of the club. I'm sure we all bring a wonderful atmosphere to the place, but we're immensely grateful for you letting us do so. So thank you. Clearly last but by very far least, our tournament directors, Ben and Alistair, who have, as ever, run this event with consummate professionalism and elegant control of what I'm sure is often feels like herding cats. So thank you both very much indeed. For those of us that were close enough to Andrew to hear his asides, it's a pleasure, Andrew, to have you back, Drew, marking here tonight. And I know we will be seeing you in Preston this time in April. So we're very welcome you back, and we have a small token of our appreciation. I don't think you drink this stuff, do you? But I'm sure you'll find a good home for it.
Anyone got any arnica cream for this cruise?
One more. 1, 2, 3. Great, thanks.
Cheers, buddy.
The British Open is for me, and I think for everyone who comes here to Queen's, is the highlight of the real tennis calendar, and I found that a completely breathtaking experience. I hesitate to say that it's anything other than the main event, but I kind of feel like we were some of us watching it and thinking, is this a warm-up for the next main event, which I have mentioned, but if you haven't signed up to go to the World Championship in Preston in April, you should, because Rob will have home court advantage there, and I think it's going to be a fantastic event. So thank you guys both for putting on a wonderful demonstration today. The quality of hitting was impressive, but the speed of reading the ball, getting around the court, was absolutely amazing, I think, to all of us. So thank you for giving us a wonderful exhibition and a great match. So first of all, a presentation which I know will just rankle to Rob, who absolutely loathes losing, and I encourage him to continue loathing losing. But the runners-up, our gallant runner-up, Rob Fahey. And to our winner, Camden Riviere, who played an awesome game. We really enjoyed the mismatching shoes. It's a special, a special characteristic, but a very, very impressive performance, and well done indeed. We look forward to more of it.
Makes me feel more professional if I hold it. Wow. Thank you all for coming out. This has been without a doubt one of the best crowds I think I've ever gotten to play in front of here, and that includes the World Championship last year. I've been waiting for years to play Rob in the British Open. Ben and I talk about it all the time. We've met so many times, but never here in the finals. Every time I've met you in another round here, I always lose to you. So I figured the finals was my best bet. But it's been an absolute pleasure. This, for me, was a big year, coming back from being ill at the end of last year, and then to come back this year and actually, by winning this, accomplish my second Grand Slam was a huge feat to myself to be able to say that I got back to this level and was able to compete consistently at the highest level again. So just a big thank you to everybody. All the thanks have all been done. Huge thank you to all the sponsors. It was so much fun hanging out this year upstairs and getting to meet everybody. Big thank you to everybody back home for sending messages and of support. And of course to Rob for playing. We love having you involved, having you around. I hope you'll continue to. You are still the world champion, so you technically have to keep playing. But please, it's a pleasure to have you around. You do so much. Show us a different way to play the game. Very different than me, but just an absolute pleasure this week. Thank you, everybody.